Hey guys, welcome back. It's Claytano. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. And this is day 16 of the 30-day video challenge where I take the first comment of the previous video, and that is the video that I make on the following day. And yesterday's first comment was from Hacks King, and he said to review arena defenses using only 3-star and 4-star monsters. We'll be going over about 3 to 4, maybe 5 if we're lucky, arena defenses using these specific monsters only, and why and what makes them work. Alright guys, so for the first defense that we're going to review is going to be Chloe, Freya, Rena, and Rena. I don't have a second Rena here because I just don't have time to build a second Rena, but this is absolutely the best stall defense that you could possibly make with 3-star and 4-star monsters. The reason being is because it counters very many AOs. It counters cleaves, it counters Lucians, it counters even bombs to some extent because you're running high resistance on all of your units across the entire board. And to top it off, it even counters the slow bruiser comps too, because if you take a bruiser comp against a team like this, you're going to be there for a very, very long time. The only real option that you have against this team is to hope and bring a Zeros against the Freya and hope that you're going to be landing your skill against him so that way you don't take a million years to finish this AD off. And the reason behind a stall defense like this is to make sure that you're attacking fast enough so that way you can get off more attacks in the time that it takes people to attack you. So this may not be your best option in Conquer Arena, but as you go up into Guardian 3 even, this works up at that level as well because people don't like spending time on their AOs, because the more time it takes them to kill somebody, the more chances they have to be attacked and go down in ranks from there. And for your runes, you're going to build your Chloe as fast as you possibly can on Swift runes. This is very important because you want to make sure that she gets off first and foremost, she gets her shield off, she gets her immunity off, and makes it real tough. And if the enemy arena offense isn't carrying a Tiana on their team, it leaves it up to RNG to be able to strip those shields, strip those immunity buffs, and get to those actual monsters themselves. Now for the Freya, you want to make sure that you're building her high resistance, low HP. You want her to go down first before any of your other monsters go down. That means you don't even need to really level her up. You don't need a 5-star her or 6-star her. Just make sure that she's on high resistance and put some will runes on her just in case they have a faster comp than you that can beat your Chloe speed. And for your arenas, you're going to build them pretty much the same. There's a couple options that you have for them. You could go with a Despair Revenge set, which is kind of annoying, but really if you have energy runes left over from other monsters, throw them on your arena, get her as much HP, as much resistance as possible, and you can even throw some shield runes on one of them to help tank some more damage. The next full natural 3-star and 4-star monster arena defense that we have for you guys today is the Freya Sonora arena comp that has been used multiple times to reach Guardian levels, and another YouTuber by the name of Orange LOL has also used this arena defense composition to get her to Guardian 1. For Freya, you're pretty much going to ruin her the exact same way as you did for the Stall 1 arena defense, and that's to spare Will with as much speed, as much resistance, and as little of HP as possible, because if you happen to be faster than the other team and they don't bring Will runes, you also have Freya here that has a chance to stun and then increase the attack bar of all of your allies. Not to mention that you have a 50% resistance leader skill for your fire monsters, so you really only need to have 50% resistance on all 3 of your fire monsters with Freya, Sonora, and Sonora. For both of your Sonoras, you're going to want to make sure that you build them with as much HP as possible, but with as little of defense as possible, because what happens is they receive 30% more damage on their passive, but then they deal back 30% of the damage that you receive on their passive. So the more defense you have, the less damage that you receive. The less defense you have, the more damage you receive, and the better off you are. And the reason why they're in the defense is to return as much damage as possible. So if you have defense on them, you're counteracting what you're trying to do with your Sonoras. And lastly, the arena is built the exact same as it is on Stall 1. No differences there. Now I gotta tell you guys, the downside to stall defenses is that you'll rarely ever see an arena defense successful show up on your screen. Just know that if they hit your defense, you have already won, because you're more than likely making them take a very long time to beat your arena defense. With this Stall 2 arena defense though, you may see a few more defense successfuls because you're going to be blowing people up with your Sonoras and then having your Freya die at the same time to regen your Sonora's HP back up to max and then take more damage so that way you can blow up more monsters with the received and returned damage. Alright, so now that we're done with Stall arena defenses, we're going to move on to something a little bit more fun, which is our speed arena defenses, and this is a good arena defense to use during midweek where you just want to see some, defense successfuls, feel good about yourself, and help that percentage out for the end of the week. Now to start off, you want to make sure that you have a speed leader skill. I'm for one using Tyron in this situation, but I would absolutely use Shimate over Tyron any day. I just can't show you guys Shimate standing there because I actually physically don't have a Shimate. I don't know why. Don't ask why, I've never gotten one. Now in your second position, you want to make sure that you have your attack bar booster there because it definitely matters what position they're in. If they exactly have the same speed across the board between you and your opponent, whoever has the first slot is going to be the one that goes first. So that's why you put your Bernard, your Orion, your Megan, your anything in that second slot right there. Next up, you have Megan to boost the attack bar even more. So you have this option where you can go a couple different ways with Lucian. Because you have a double attack bar boost and you have a speed leader, Lucian may not actually need to be plus 120 speed. He may actually need to just be around around 200 speed total. I know it's a little bit hard to get, but you definitely want to make sure that you're not getting cut in between your two attack bar boosters and your Lucian and your Shimate. So the turn order would be Bernard, Megan, Shimate, Lucian. The next arena defense is going to be a Lucian trap that features Freya, Bella, Vertihile, and Moon. And to ruin these monsters to be a specific Lucian trap is to have Freya, of course, the same way as the previous arena defenses, but you're going to want to put your Belladon on Nemesis, Will Runes with speed, HP, and HP. That is an absolute must these days with the Lucians and the speed that they're going at right now. It's definitely not going to work to have Violent Nemesis anymore. Plus, the Will gives you a little bit more play against cleave comps, but when you do add in the Vertihile, make sure that you have him with full counter, so that's 3 sets of counter, and make him as tanky as possible, of course, with as much crit rate as possible. It's pretty straightforward for the Vertihile for the most part. And lastly, you'll have your Moon, and he would be built with, really you could do a couple different things with him. I for one built him with Vampire runes and Nemesis runes. I don't necessarily believe that he needs to be on Violent. He's one that you could actually go on Swift, but the faster he is, the more turns that he gets, the more shields that he's putting up, the more effective he is for your arena defense in general. And also with the Freya leader skill, your Vertihile and your Moon are going to be really high resistance, which is also going to help against that cleave AO. But more than likely, you are not going to get touched by a Lucian comp at all because of the Freya for one, because of the chance for a double Nemesis Bella, which you are going to have, the chance for a triple Revenge Vertihile, which you also have, and the Moon to make sure that everybody's being shielded and properly protected. And lastly, we have a mid-range cleave comp featuring Freya, Chasun, Vertihile, and Tractor. Now I'm going to explain the Tractor to you guys in just a second because what is Freya's main counter? And I know I didn't give you a chance to actually think about it, but if you said Zeros, you're correct, you get a cookie. And keeping that in mind, Zeros gets hard countered by a few water monsters, and Tractor is definitely one of them. If they're trying to cleave your team against your Freya and you have a Tractor there and they're trying to Galleon you, you have such an advantage against them because they cannot Galleon the Tractor because his passive allows him to not be defense broken. So if you have a really well built Tractor, you are not going to get touched by a Zeros. With the Freya there, they need the Zeros. So it's really a catch-22. Are they going to use a Zeros? Are they going to use Galleon? And if that's the case, they may have to resort to using a Bruiser comp, killing one monster at a time, which leaves them very susceptible to low ranking on Rush Hour because the longer you take to kill somebody's arena defense, the harder it is for you to rank up. But in this situation, we can use our healer on Violent Nemesis there in this situation. Also, if you did want to put him on Nemesis Will, that's also an option, but really with Chasun instead of Belladon, you're not going to really utilize the Nemesis Will as much because you don't have that attack bar boost at the same time as your heal. You're really relying on your Freya to resist. You're also relying on your Vertihile to counter, same build as the previous arena defense with full Revenge runes here, HP, crit rate, HP, and then your Tractor, you're going to want to build him with defense, don't forget that, but at the same time, don't forget your HP on your Tractor as well, because if you get Lucians, you at least want to make sure that you survive one Lucian, at least. I promise you it's much better to have at least 30,000 or more HP on your Tractor than having full defense runes on it and getting one shot by a Lucian down goes your Freya, down goes your Tractor. You're only left with a Vertihile and a Chassoon, and I guarantee you those are not going to be enough to kill off the rest of the Lucian team. But alright guys, those were a few of the best natural 4-star and 3-star monster arena defenses that I could possibly come up with. If you have some additional ones, go ahead and leave them in the comments section below. I would love to hear them and possibly showcase them in another episode of this once the 30-day video challenge is over. Again, make sure that you're not using any light dark monsters, any fusible monsters, nothing like that bullshit. We're not doing that anymore. This is pure main element 4-star monsters and below, and that's it. But as always guys, if you like this video, definitely go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed before. And as always, stay soupy, don't be potatoes, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.